Hello, welcome back. It's Monday in the new week. The weather is very bad. It's raining and the wind is blowing a lot. I'd like to make more video about deserts, but I have some video in English. This video is just about reading stuff on Wikipedia. I was reading about aircraft, airports and stuff. I still do that, so let's read. I like to make a Danish video about this lake in South America, but I will do a video about it in English later maybe. And I like to read about the gliders. I have to read about this bombardier, but maybe we can read everything today. Motor gliders, ultralights, close. But let's read about this. But I need a minute. I need a minute to go to my bed. And I will make a video in my language, Danish, after this.
Lake Titicaca. Coordinates 15 degree 4930 S 69 degree 1930 W. Lake Titicaca. View of the lake from Isla del Sol. Location of Lake Titicaca. Location of Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. Location of Lake Titicaca. Location of Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. /TTKK winking sad smiley for Spanish, Lago Titicaca, Leo Titicaca, Quechua, Titicaca, is a large freshwater lake in the Andes Mountains on the border of Bolivia and Peru. It is often called the highest navigable lake in the world. By both volume of water and by surface area, it is the largest lake in South America. 5, 6, 7, 8. Lake Titicaca has a surface elevation of 3,812 m, 12,507 feet. 8, 9. The highest lake claim is generally considered to refer to commercial craft. Numerous smaller lakes around the world are at higher elevations. 10. For many years, the largest vessel afloat on the lake weighs 2,200 ton. 2,425 US tons, 79 m, 259 feet, SS Ollanta. Today, the largest vessel is most likely the similarly sized train barge /float Manco K Park, operated by Peru Rail. Overview. A view of Lake Titicaca and Chalacasland in the background. Alpacas are a common sight along the shores of the lake. The lake is located at the northern end of the Endor High Altiplano Basin high in the Andes on the border of Peru and Bolivia. The western part half the lake lies within the Puno region of Peru, and the eastern side is located in the Bolivian La Paz department. The lake consists of two nearly-separate subbasins connected by the Strait of Tijuana, which is 800 m. 2,620 feet, across at the narrowest point. The larger subbasin, Lago Grande, also called Lago Chucuito, has a mean depth of 135 m, 443 feet, and a maximum depth of 284 m, 932 feet. The smaller subbasin, Winnemarca, also called Lago Picno, Little Lake, has an average depth of 9 m, 30 feet, and a maximum depth of 40 m, 131 feet. 11. The overall average depth of the lake is 107 m, 351 feet. 1. A view of Lake Titicaca taken from the town of Copacabana, Bolivia. 5 major river systems feed into Lake Titicaca. 12. In order of their relative flow volume, estos are Ramais, Cota, Huacán, and Suchet. 5. More than 20 other smaller streams empty into Titicaca. The lake has 41 islands, some of which are densely populated. Location of Lake Titicaca. Location of Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. Map of Lake Titicaca. Coordinates 15° 4930 S 69° 1930 Type Ancient Lake Mountain Lake Primary inflows 27 rivers Primary outflows Desaguadero River Evaporation Catchment Area 58,000 km 2 22,400 square mi. 1. Basin countries Bolivia and Peru. Max length 190 km 118 mi, maximum width 80 km 50 mi, surface area 8,372 km 2 3,232 square mi. 1. Average depth 107 m 351 feet. 1. Maximum depth 281 m 922 feet. 1. Having only a single season of free circulation, the lake is monomictic. 13, 14, and water passes through Lago Huinamarca and flows out the single outlet at the Rio Desaguadero. 15, which then flows south through Bolivia to Lake Pupo. This only accounts for about 10% of the lake's water balance. Evapotranspiration, caused by strong winds and intense sunlight at high altitude, balances the remaining 90% of the water loss. It is nearly a closed lake. 5, 11, 16. The city of Puno in Peru, the largest urban settlement in the lake since 2000, Lake Titicaca has experienced constant acidic water levels. Between April and November 2009 alone, the water level dropped by 81 centimeters, 32 in, reaching the lowest level since 1949. This drop is caused by shortened rainy seasons and the melting of glaciers feeding the tributaries of the lake. 17, 18. Water pollution is also an increasing concern because cities in the Titicaca watershed grow, sometimes outpacing solid waste and sewage treatment infrastructure. 19. According to the Global Nature Fund, GNF, Titicaca's biodiversity is threatened by water pollution and the introduction of new species by humans. 20. In 2012, the GNF nominated the lake Threatened Lake of the Year. 21. Temperature. The cold sources and winds over the lake give it an average surface sea temperature of 10 to 14 degrees Celsius, 50 to 57 degrees Fahrenheit. In the winter, June-September, mixing occurs with the deeper waters, which are always between 10 and 11 degrees Celsius, 50 and 52 degrees Fahrenheit. 22. Name. View from Sentinel-2 satellite in 2020. Neither the protohistoric nor prehistoric name for Lake Titicaca is known. Given the various indigenous groups that occupied the Lake Titicaca region, it likely lacked a single commonly accepted name in prehistoric times and at the time of Spaniards arrived. 23. The terms Titi and Caca can be translated in multiple ways. In Ainra, Titi can be translated as either puma, lead, or a heavy metal. The word Caca, Kaka, can be translated as white or grey hairs of the head, and the term Kaake can be translated as either crack or fissure, or alternatively, comb of a bird. 23. According to Western Law, the Ainra considered in 1948 that the proper name of the lake is Titicaca, which means grey, discolored, lead-colored. Water volume 896 km 3, 215 cu. 1. Residence time 1,343 years. 1. Shore length 11,125 km, 699 mi. 1. Surface elevation 3,812 m, 12,507 feet. 1. Frozen Eva. 1. Islands 42 plus. See article. Sections /Subbasin Suinamarca Settlements Copacabana, Bolivia Puno, Peru references. 1. Map. Ramsar wetland official name Lago Titicaca designated 20 January 1997 reference No 881. 2. Ramsar wetland official name Lago Titicaca designated 11 September 1998 reference No 959. 3. One shore length is not a well-defined measure. Puma. This phrase refers to the sacred carved rock found on the Isla del Sol. 24. In addition to names including the term Titi and /Orcaca, Lake Titicaca was also known as Chuquivatu in the 16th century. This name can be loosely translated as Lance Point. This name survives in modern usage, in which the large lake is occasionally referred to as Lago Chuquivatu. 23. A name Raman next to a reed boat and Lake Titicaca. Stanish argues that the logical explanation for the origin of the name Titicaca is a corruption of the term Titicaca, which is the 16th century name of the sacred rock on the Isla del Sol. 25. Given the lack of a common name for Lake Titicaca in the 16th century, the Spaniards are thought to have used the name of the site of the most important indigenous shrine in the region, Titicaca on the Isla del Sol, as the name for the lake. In time and with usage, this name developed into Titicaca. 23. Locally, the lake goes by several names. The southeast quarter of the lake is separate from the main body, connected only by the Strait of Tiquina, and the Bolivians call it Lago Huinaymarca, also Huinaymarca, which in Aymara means the eternal city, and the larger part Lago Chuquivatu. The large lake also is occasionally referred to as Lago Maya, and the small lake as Lago Mena. 23. In Peru, these smaller and larger parts are referred to as Lago Picno and Lago Grande respectively. 11. Ecology. Two Telmatabius species occur in the lake. The smaller, more coast or marbled water frog, pictured at Isla del Sol, and the larger, more deep water Titicaca water frog. 26. Lake Titicaca is home to more than 530 aquatic species. 27. The lake holds large populations of water birds and was designated Asa Ramsar site on the 26th of August, 1998. Several threatened species such as huge Titicaca water frog and the flightless Titicaca grebe are largely or entirely restricted to the lake. 26. 28. And the Titicaca Orestias has likely become extinct, last seen in 1938, due to competition and predation by the introduced rainbow trout and the silver Pseudodontes bonariensis. 29. In addition to the Titicaca Orestias, native fish species in the lake's basin are other species of Orestias, and the catfish Trichomycteris dispa, T. rivulatus, and Astroblypus stubuli, the last species not in the lake itself, but in associated ecosystems. 30. The many Orestias species in Lake Titicaca differ significantly in both habitat preference, 31, and feeding behavior. 32. About 90% of the fish species in the basin are endemic. 30, including 23 species of Orestias latently are found in the lake. 33. In addition to the threatened Titicaca grebe, some of the birds associated with water at Titicaca are the white-tufted grebe, Puna ibis, Chilean flamingo, Andean gull, Andean lapwing, white-backed stilt, greater yellowlegs, snowy egret, black-crowned night heron, Andean coot, common gallinule, Plumbeous rail, various ducks, wren-like rushbird, many-colored rush tyrant, and yellow-winged blackbird. 28. An artificial fish enclosure at a fish farming site near Copacabana, Bolivia. Andean coot among Totoras sedges. Titicaca is home to 24 described species of freshwater snails, 15 endemics, including several tiny Heliobia spp. 27. 34, and less than half a dozen bivalves, all in families Fratidae. but in general these are every poorly known and their taxonomy is in need of a review. 35. The lake also has an endemic species flock of amphipods consisting of 11 hyalella. An additional Titicaca hyalella species is an endemic. 36. Reeds and other aquatic vegetation are widespread in Lake Titicaca. Totora sedges grow in water shallower than 3 m, 10 feet, less frequently to 5.5 m, 18 feet, but macrophytes, notably Shira and Potamogeton, occur down to 10 m, 33 feet. 37. In sheltered shallow waters, such as the harbor of Puno, Azolla, Elodie, Lemna and Myriaphyllum. 37. Geology. The Tanajani Basin, in which Lake Titicaca lies, is an intermontane basin. This basin is a pull-apart basin created by strike-slip movement along regional faults starting in the late Oligocene and ending in the late Miocene. The initial development of the Tanajani Basin is indicated by volcanic rocks, which accumulated between 27 and 20 million years ago within this basin. They lie upon an angular unconformity which cuts across pre-basin strata. Lacustrine sediments of the lower Tanajani Formation, which are exposed within the Tanajani Basin, demonstrate the presence of a pre-Quaternary, ancestral Lake Titicaca within it between 18 and 14 million years ago. Maya. 38. Little is known about the prehistory of Lake Titicaca between 14 Maya and 370,000 BP because the lake sediments dating to this period lie buried beneath the bottom of Lake Titicaca and have not yet been sampled by continuous coring. 39. The Lake Titicaca Drilling Project. 39. Recovered a 136 m long drill core of sediments from the bottom of Lake Titicaca at a depth of 235 m, 771 feet, and at a location just east of Isla del Sol. This core contains a continuous record of lake sedimentation and paleo-environmental conditions for Lake Titicaca back to about 370,000 BP. For this period of time Lake Titicaca was typically fresher and had higher lake levels during periods of expanded regional glaciation that corresponded to global glacial periods. During periods of reduced regional glaciation that corresponded to global interglacial periods, Lake Titicaca had typically low lake levels. 39. 40. Lacustrine sediments and associated terraces provide evidence for the past existence of 5 major prehistoric lakes that occupied the Tanajani Basin during the Pliocene and Pleistocene. Within the northern Altiplano, Tanajani Basin, these prehistoric lakes were Lake Matero at an elevation of 3,950 m, 12,960 feet, Lake Cabana at an elevation of 3,900 m, 12,800 feet, Lake Bolivian at an elevation of 3,860 m, 12,660 feet, Lake North Minchin at an elevation of 3,825 m, 12,549 feet, and Lake North Toka at an elevation 3,815 m, 12,516 feet. The age of Lake Matero is uncertain. It may date back to the late Pliocene. Lake Cabana possibly dates to the middle Pleistocene. Lake Bolivian existed between 120,000 and 98,000 BP. 2 high lake stands, between 72,000 and 68,000 BP and 44,000 34,000 BP, have been discerned for Lake Minchin within the Altiplano. Another ancient lake in the area is Uki. The high lake levels of Lake Toka have been dated as having occurred between 18,100 and 14,100 BP. 41, 42, 43. Underwater archaeology. Underwater excavations and surveys in and around Koh Reef, near the island of Koh, have recovered thousands of artifacts. 44. These artifacts consist of ceramic feline incense burners, carved juvenile llamas, and well-crafted metal shell, and